Welcome. This week's question is, do you ever wonder why your aging parent or loved one maybe seem to have kind of an attitude, or they don't like being told what to do by you as their adult child? Do they seem kind of stuck in their ways, or maybe do you feel that they're making some poor choices? Hi, my name is Pam Dunwald, and I'm one of your nurse advocates from Your Nurse Advocate Consulting. And today is Tuesday Tips. And so today we're going to talk about the emotional toll of getting old and some of the reasons behind their behavior. We can't often change them, but by understanding the reasons why they're behaving or saying the things there, that maybe we can tolerate it a little bit more, maybe approach it with a little bit more empathy. So we're hoping that we can accomplish that during this short video today. So we can also, again, hopefully can increase and the communication or improve the communication, that maybe you might be surprised by some of the results. So let's go ahead and jump in. No slide deck today, just a discussion. So here goes. So I think one of the things that's really important to start off this conversation is just to look at some of the growth and development, some of the science behind this. And so I know I'm going to take some of you back to psychology classes and maybe human growth and development classes, but I think it's just really important that we understand some of this, because if we understand that our aging loved ones are going through the same stages in life as other aging loved ones, and that this isn't just a situation between you and your aging parents, then maybe you can understand some of these things. So we're going to talk just for a minute about in human growth and development, late adulthood is the final stage of life, and each stage of life has different milestones or different things that you hope you can achieve, whether you've successfully navigated that stage in your life, or if you're not successfully navigating it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I think that will really help make a difference for some of you and how you're interacting with your aging parents. So again, this is called late adulthood, and it's marked by really significant changes that arise in people as we age. For all of us, late adulthood milestones can be identified as going through many of a range of physical, emotional, cognitive, and social development. So there's like a milestone for each one of those. There's a milestone to reach for physical, a milestone to reach for emotional, a milestone to reach for cognitive or mentation, and also one for social development. So one of the primary changes associated with late adulthood is a decline in physical strength and mobility. Now, it's easy for us to rationalize and say, yeah, as you get old, you can't do things like you used to. Well, for some people, that's harder than accept to others. So if you're taking a pro football player or a boxer or wrestler, someone who's been in professional sports, and now they get, to this late adulthood stage in their life, and they can't do what they used to do. I mean, they may feel like they're washed up. They may feel like, what's my purpose? I can't, when I was doing this, everybody thought I was great. Or when I was doing this, everybody looked up at me. Well, now as they can't do what they did before, then they have to, then they start worrying about, what is actually my purpose in life? Why am I still here? So that would be one of them, would be decline in physical strength and mobility. Maybe they have to resort to walkers or their wheelchairs. They can't do the things that they do. So that's difficult. Change is not easy for anybody. So as individuals age, their muscles weaken, their joints become stiffer, and their dexterity, they lose the dexterity that they had. And this can make it more difficult for older adults to perform simple tasks such as climbing stairs, opening jars, and driving. Now, they raised you. You're their children. They took care of you. They opened jars for you. They drove you all over the place. So now it's very difficult for them to accept that they are in a position where they're still your parent, but now they have to trust you to help them with these things. And that's hard for a lot of people to swallow. So emotionally, late adulthood can be a time of both contentment and reflection, and that would be a positive way that you were reaching those milestones. Many older adults, they find joy in spending time with loved ones, their grandkids, their great grandkids, pursuing hobbies that maybe they didn't have time to do when they were working and raising a family, and other interests, card club, traveling. At the same time, late adulthood, they can also trigger feelings of nostalgia, regret. I mean, they're losing friends. Maybe, they had classmates. Maybe they had good friends that they went to college with, or even maybe that they've grown up through grade school, and they're losing, as they age, they're losing more and more their friends. So they're losing, some of their identity along with their losses. So they have regret, and they feel lonely, and they feel, why am I still here? Everybody else is gone. What's keeping me here? What's my purpose? And I know we've said that a couple of times, but that's really big for reaching the emotional milestone of this age group, is the fact that they still have a purpose. So cognitively, late adulthood can mean a time when many people are experiencing changes in memory, attention span, processing speed, while some other adults, they experience decline in other areas. Others remain sharp. So those that struggle with having some maybe dementia or more forgetfulness, they're seeing maybe a friend of theirs the same age as them. Well, how come they're sharp as a tack and I'm not? And, hey, I drew the short straw. So there's a lot of things that they're really wrestling with, a lot of challenges. And when we, as adult children, come on maybe too strong and be too assertive as far as, now you need to listen to me, you need to do this, you can't do this, and that's really hard for them to take. And so sometimes the better approach, say for driving, we get this question a lot: how do you tell your parents to stop driving? Well, that's a problem. If you're trying to find a way to tell your parents to stop driving, that's not going to go over too well. And I can almost guarantee you that your aging parents are not going to want to hurt anybody. They're not going to want to hurt themselves. They don't want to get into an accident. So sometimes, pointing out some things that maybe they don't want to hear, but gently, Ma, the last time you went to the store, you called me because you got lost and it took you an extra half hour to come home. And I'm just really concerned about your safety. I love you very much. Nobody wants anything to happen to you. I just want you to maybe think about that for a little bit and think if continuing to drive is really, a great idea. Let them have input. Let them have some control over that conversation, and let them have their. And I mean, the best scenario would be for you to drop and dribble and drip these truths and these realities to them, and hopefully let them, with your urging and your guidance, let them come to the realization themselves that, what, maybe it's not a great idea that I don't drive anymore. And they will handle it much better if they've had a part in making that decision than just being told, what, I don't care what you say, but you're not safe anymore. You're going to kill somebody or kill yourself. I'm taking the keys away. Well, that's a recipe for disaster. Not to say that, some people will agree easier than others. Sometimes you might have to get the doctor involved. The doctor can, take the keys away, and they can report to the DMV and have their license revoked. I mean, that's really kind of a last resort, but that is available in those cases where you don't seem to have a choice. So one of the most notable changes during the stage is the gradual decline in sensory functioning, including vision and hearing. So it's estimated about 50% of seniors over the age of 80 have a difficulty with activities such as hearing, seeing, communicating effectively. And on top of that, chronic conditions such as arthritis, heart disease, diabetes are more prevalent among our seniors. So now they're dealing with a lot of health challenges along with everything else. So they've got a lot going on. And the problem is as a baby grows, they learn their autonomy. They never started out with anybody, so they're not missing anything. Now you take the aging adult, they've been there. They've been the top dog. They've been the parent. They've been the big cheese. They've been the breadwinner. They've cared. They've nurtured you. And now to have to realize that they're slipping to a place that they're no longer have that control like they did before, it's tough. It's very, very tough. So socio-emotional changes during this stage are often associated with a decrease in social networks. We talked about this just briefly, where as they age, as they get older, their circle, their siblings, their relatives, their friends, that circle starts to get small. So isolation is a huge hurdle for people in late adulthood to achieve that milestone if they don't have an outlet for socialization. So that's really, really super important. So by understanding the milestones and the changes that come with this age, we can help better support them and make sure that we're trying to assist them in coming up with ways for them to continually to meet these milestones. So as we negotiate and navigate the challenges of caring for our aging parents, it can be really helpful to understand, the stage of life that they're in. And so that was really the goal of this little chat that we had today. And we get a lot of questions about, my parents just won't listen to me, and how do I reach them? How do I make them do this? Well, we want the in best case scenario is that we can have an adult conversation with them, unless they're suffering from dementia where they're unable to make their own decisions and or dealing with more severe cognitive issues. The goal is to have a two-way conversation, and the two of you or your family together, coming up with a plan and coming up with ideas that your aging parents have a say so in. And I guarantee you that will be much better. Sometimes a third party coming in, and we as nurse advocates, sometimes we just do mediation with family, because sometimes everybody's so close and it's so heated because everybody's coming from their own space and their own needs, that sometimes a third party can come in and point out all the good things that each person is having to say, and making sure that everybody realizes exactly where they're coming from, because there's no judgment. Because some coming in as a third party, I have no alignment or no loyalty to anyone. I'm just there to make sure everybody's heard and that everybody can come to a general consensus. And in the bottom line is what's best for your aging parents. So I hope this has not been too deep of a conversation, and I hope it's been helpful. Again, the whole goal of this is just to realize that at the age they are still going through some growth and development type things with this stage that they're in. And so reach out if you have any questions. Really stop by. We encourage everybody to come in and see us at our Speaking Out on the Care of Your Aging Parents. It's our online private free Facebook group that we have. We've got a lot of free resources. So check the details in the video. We will be putting this on our YouTube channel, and just take a look at what we've had, and we'd love to see how we can serve you and your family. So with that being said, let everybody go. Take care and have a great day.